Central auditory processing disorder is a disorder that not many people are familiar with. This is because a lot of the times central auditory processing disorder goes misdiagnosed and unnoticed. One might wonder what central auditory processing disorder is. Well, for starters, I'd like to shorten it up and use the abbreviation that it's known for, CAPD. CAPD, excuse me, is basically a confusion, a jumbled message, just a really, lost my place. It is a jumbled message. It is basically whenever messages get sent to the brain verbally, and the brain processes them from the ear, and it processes incorrectly. An example would be a child in elementary school, junior high, high school. Children who can't pay attention in class sometimes do suffer from this disorder and go unacknowledged and unknown. My sister actually is one of those cases where she has central auditory processing disorder, and we didn't know until she was in the 3rd grade. We saw signs. Teachers never knew what exactly was the reason why she wasn't processing and understanding things in that correct way. And we finally got her tested and came to the conclusion that she does have central auditory processing disorder. A lot of the causes are unknown. There have been tests and studies that explain that occasionally head trauma could trigger CAPD, or even an abnormal growing development whenever you're a fetus in the womb. There are many different symptoms to this disorder. KidsHealth.org influences people to ask themselves, is your child distracted easily by loud or sudden noises? Do they have trouble following directions, simple or complicated? Are they disorganized or forgetful? Are conversations hard for your child? Is abstract information difficult for the child to comprehend? These are all questions that relate back to the symptoms of CAPD. If you notice that there's a lack of memory sustainability, and there's a delay in speech, or there's a large amount of confusion and misinterpretations, then your child might have central auditory processing disorder. The diagnosis and misdiagnosis for these happen quite frequently. There are tests and screenings done for auditory and neurological results. Why is it difficult to decipher between CAPD and other disorders? Well, it's simple. Because disorders such as ADD, ADHD, Asperger's, autism, they all follow under the same category of children not being able to follow in class at the speed of others, children who have a hard time evaluating and processing directions, information, from simple to hard. New Horizons Unlimited Incorporated stated that many times whenever children are diagnosed with ADD or ADHD, it is actually a confusion for central auditory processing disorder. There are multiple treatments, which I like to call them therapies. There are many therapies that can help children overcome and establish a normal and healthy environment, learning in school and out. You can go see a speech therapist. Many children actually even see their typical elementary, junior high, high school speech counselor. There are memory training courses that you can take through certain organizations. And on top of that, there are language building classes that help evaluate and express not only the speech of the child, but the way that they are processing others' speech. Another treatment, there are hearing aids that kids can use in school that help basically tune out their surroundings so they can focus on a teacher or, whoever is speaking. My sister is actually one of those cases. She did have one of those. Awareness is really important to have. You need to be aware that your child could or could not have CAPD if you notice these signs or symptoms. it's a big struggle for kids to go through their lives without a truth about themselves, a diagnosis, a correct diagnosis. I mean, I wouldn't want my child medicated for something that they didn't have, and I'm sure most of you wouldn't either. It's really, really easy to be aware of certain signs and symptoms, such as the speech, the learning process, information process. It's all just combined into one big connected link. In conclusion, central auditory processing disorder is a struggle not only for children, but for families and parents, adults, teachers, everyone. And it goes so commonly overlooked, and it's just something that everyone needs to be knowledgeable about. There are things in this world that not many people are familiar with, and I think that disorders are something that everyone needs to understand and take to heart, especially if you're a family person, if you have children. There are a lot of misconceptions. 8 seconds. There are a lot of misconceptions. Thank you.